Hey, what's going on YouTube? Alabama Reloader here. So, coming to you today in the kitchen, and the reason for that is we're about to heat up some of this stuff. Skyline chili. Supposedly, yes, Cincinnati's famous Skyline chili. Now, I was up that way. I was in Springfield, Ohio. I had to go up there for a wedding. Shout out to my buddy Tyler and his wife Jennifer. It was an incredible wedding ceremony. It truly was. But it led to a little bit of a logistical nightmare of a weekend for me. So I drove up on Friday, left my house. I did a live stream actually Friday morning, but I left my house at 4:15 and I'm on Central Time. Springfield is Eastern Time. And it's about a 7.5 hour drive from my house. Well, and of course you tack on the hour of the time difference. So you're looking at, 8.5 hours of time that you need to account for by the time you stop, get gas, get you something to eat, yada, yada. Really you're talking more or less nine plus hours worth of time. And so ended up making it there. Let's see, I think I pulled in the parking lot of the venue at like 3 or 3:30, something like that. And the wedding was at 4:30. So made it there in plenty of time. But before I made it there, by the time I got up to Ohio, got up to Cincinnati area, I was getting pretty hungry and wanted to stop in, grab some lunch. And I was actually heading over to Vance Outdoors, not to be confused with Vans Outdoors, which is what I've referenced in the past on this channel. Vans Outdoors, or Vans Sporting Goods, is a store in Coleman, Alabama. I think there's also one in Mississippi. It's VANS Sporting Goods. Vance, VANCE, was a recommendation from Derek McMurray. Shout out to him. He's a subscriber here on the channel. And during the live stream, I was like, hey, any good recommendations for gun shops or anything like that that I can stop at on the way? I'd planned my trip to where I have a little bit of time to kill. And so it would just be nice if I could shop at a local gun store. I don't want to go to a Cabela's or something like that I have down here at the house. And so he recommended Vance in Lebanon, Ohio. I guess that's how you pronounce it. And so I punched it in, and sure enough, it was basically on the way to the venue. And so I thought, sure, might as well. Well, when I took the exit to go, to kind of go a different route to Vance, I noticed that they had a sign for this stuff, Skyline Chili, the restaurant. And so I was like, you know what? I've heard of this stuff, never had it. Let's go there and check it out. So that's what I did. And it's not bad. I will say it's not bad. Now, it is odd to me that they serve the chili without beans. It's not chili if there's no beans in it. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to start a war in the comments over what chili is or is not. But the waitress, she was super sweet. She really was. I went in there and I was looking at the menu, and they basically put chili on everything, pretty much. And so she came over and I was like, hey, I've never been here before, but I've heard of you guys and really interested in trying the chili. And she was like, well, I can bring you a sample. That's no problem. She brought me a little bowl of the chili, and I ate it. And of course it didn't have beans in it, but I ate it. And there was something, I was like, man, there's something in it. It comes through pretty strong, but I couldn't put my finger on it. She was like, well, it's cinnamon. And I was like, oh, so that's different. But the chili was really good. I did order I think it's the Coney Bowl, I believe. So basically, I think it's 2 hot dogs cut up, not the bun, just two hot dogs cut up in a bowl, and then they cover it with chili. I had them add beans and onions to it, and then they cover all that with shredded cheese, and it was really good. It was good. Very basic meal, but it was really good. And she was like, hey, we sell this chili by the can if you want to take some back home, because it's not like they sell this stuff over at the local Publix right down the road, right? And I don't know, they actually might, I have no clue, but I've never seen it. So I was like, you know what, I'm here, might as well grab a 4-pack. So that's what I did. And so now tonight, what I'm going to be doing is eating that chili on some of these guys. So I've got 3 venison bratwurst left over from Weaver's, some of the processing that I had done over at Weaver's in Hartsville. These are bratwurst. They have cheese in them, but I'll probably still cover them with shredded cheese. My plan is to just throw them on, actually make chili cheese dogs is my plan. Just throw them on the buns, get them heated up, get a can of this chili heated up in a bowl separately, and then just combine everything and eat it. Of course, I'm not gonna do that on camera. You guys don't need to see me eat, but yeah, so that chili was really good. But you know, what was cool was along with that, you know, when Derek, circling back to that comment about Vance Outdoors, so Derek recommended it, and I was like, yeah, I'll definitely have to hit that up and check it out. Well, it just so happened he was in there when I showed up. He caught me off guard because he's like, hey, there he is. And I was like, there who is? He's like, Alabama Reloader. And I was like, yes, that's me. I just, that caught me off guard big time. But it was awesome meeting Derek. So Derek, it was great to meet you and talk to you. It was really a good recommendation, and he knows because we sat there and talked we killed quite a bit of time sitting there talking and checking out a lot of what they had for sale in the reloading section. And I will show you a couple of things that I picked up. One of which, this stuff, 8-pound jug of Superformance. You guys know that I'm a huge fan of this powder. If you have been around the channel for any length of time, in 270 Winchester, if you just loaded 270 Winchester, I would recommend you go buy an 8-pound jug of this powder, and you don't have to mess with anything else. 270 Winchester, 130 grain Barnes Tip TSX or 129 grain LRX, and you use this powder, and it's a money combination all day long. It performs so well. And so they had this for $275 for an 8-pound jug. And that's a really, really good price considering the price increases that we've seen recently on powder. And so due to me kind of getting rid of some additional, or not additional, but extra reloading stuff I have out in my shop there, or in my building, I've kind of sold a few things here lately and freed up some cash. And so I had that with me on the way up there. So that was nice. Wanted to put it to good use, and getting an 8-pound jug of this stuff will definitely, we'll put that to good use, because not only is it good for 270 Winchester, but I worked up a really good hunting load for my buddy Kevin in his 300 Win short mag. So really good powder overall. Yeah, good performer. Now I haven't really had amazing luck with it in 6.5 Creedmoor. I know Hornady shows really good velocity in 6.5 Creedmoor with that powder, but I haven't seen that personally out of the testing that I've done. But then again, the testing hasn't really been that extensive. So y'all hang tight. And so we're back. Basically, I got a phone call. My wife was calling, so I had to pause the video to jump on that call. But picking up, where I was talking about running into Derek over at Vance Outdoors, it was awesome getting to talk to him about reloading stuff and life in general, and so on and so forth. It was a really neat experience getting to meet him, talk to him. He's been providing a ton of great comments and questions and insight and all that fun stuff, specifically around the rebarreling project that I'm looking at doing, which I've never rebarreled a rifle before, but one of those never have I ever things. And so it's been an experience, to say the least, trying to nail down what do I want to get, what am I actually trying to achieve, so on and so forth. There's a ton of different options available to you. But what was awesome about meeting him was, as we were talking through the rebarreling concept, he was like, hey, I can run home and I can check my inventory of barrels that I have, just blanks that are sitting at the house, and I might have something that will fit your needs. He's like, no, I'll sell it to you if it's something you want, and we'll call it good. That way you don't have to wait, and so on and so forth, all that fun stuff. And so went on to the wedding. After I left there, went on to the wedding, which also, by the way, while I was there, I did pick up some of these guys. Where's the camera? Yep, 6.5 gold dots, 120 grain though. You guys will also know, if you follow the channel, I'm a really big fan of the 140 in 6.5 Creedmoor that they make, the 140 gold dots. Well, the 120 is a really good bullet to use in 6.5 Grendel, but I'm also going to use these in 6.5 Creedmoor. Picked up several boxes of these, so I've got plenty to mess around with. Really pumped about that. Also grabbed some small rifle Magnum primers while I was in there too. So really good trip overall in terms of finding components, and like the powder was a really good price, like I said, and then the gold dots, they were a pretty good price as well. They weren't too bad. They were $20 for a box 50, which back when, let's see, when I bought some of the ones I have on the shelf out there, they have a $15 price tag on them, so gone up, $5. I mean, for one box, which makes sense. It's kind of in line with what we're seeing across the board, especially post-COVID and all that fun stuff. So, but they're definitely worth it. High weight retention, good expansion. They hold together really well. Great bullet to go with for whitetail or just any big game hunting. I know in the 30 cal version they make a 168, so you could probably sling that into an elk and be just fine. But yeah, it would be nice if they would come out with a 7mm version. That would be cool. That would be nice to see. But I believe they have it in 224, so your 22 cal stuff, like 223, 5.56. So they've got this, I think it's a 55, 62, and a 75 grain version of the gold dots, and then in 6.5 they've got the 120 and the 140, and then 308 they have the 168 and I believe a 150. Yeah, and they might actually have a couple different types of 150s. I think one of them is geared toward the 300 blackout. So really good bullets overall. But so I picked up all that stuff and headed out to the wedding. Like I said, it was awesome. And then Derek was like, hey, on your way back, because as soon as I left the wedding, I had to drive back to Alabama. That was the whole intent, right? Drive like 8 hours up there, and then in the same day I had to turn around and drive like 8 hours back. So it was gonna be brutal because I had to be back in Alabama 2 hours south of where I live by like 11 a.m., 10:30, 11 a.m. Saturday morning. So it just made for a really long 2 days. I'm filming this Saturday night, really getting ready to kind of wind down and go to bed because I'm pretty wore out. But he hit me up and was like, hey, when you leave the wedding to start to head back home, swing by, close to where I live. He said, I can meet you. And he's like, I'll show you the barrels that I think will suit your needs. And if you want one, you can, we'll settle it up. So however you want to do it. Well, he brought a couple, and we have a barrel. So we have a barrel. It is a 7mm 1-in-9 twist, I think. Let's see here. Where are we at? Yep. Yeah, 284, 1-in-9. Yeah, so really nice. More of a, I guess you could call it more of a sporter contour, a little bit on the thinner side on the contour, which is fine. That's kind of exactly what I was wanting. The project, it's more or less dedicated as a hunting setup. So I don't want some big, massive, heavy barrel, right? That's not what I need. So this is gonna do exactly what I need. It's gonna fit my needs. So really appreciate that. And went ahead and got it from him. And so now it's gonna take me a little bit of time though to get this thing worked up into an actual rifle because there went the barrel budget. It's gone now. But yeah, super excited I got that, really stoked. So looking forward to kind of making some progress on that down the road. So overall, just a great trip. I was able to make it. I didn't drive all the way back home Friday night. Made it down to Bowling Green, Kentucky. That was about as long as I could go safely, because I started reaching that point where I was just really, really tired, really sleepy. You know, it was reaching that point where I really needed to pull over and stop. And that was kind of the goal I'd set for myself. If I was going to stop and try to get a few hours of sleep, I wanted to at least make it to Bowling Green, because that's a 3-hour drive from my house. And so that's what I did. Went to sleep around midnight or so, got up at 3:45, finished the drive, made it to the house. By 7, just a little before 7, was able to let the dog out, hang out with him for a little bit, take a shower, all that fun stuff, and then head down to Birmingham. So it worked out. Praise the Lord. Everything was fine. You know, safe travels, the whole nine. Yeah, a really great stop over at Vance Outdoors, which I highly recommend those guys now. That's a great store. Yeah, just everything was awesome about the weekend. So really, just really wonderful weekend. And yeah, got plenty of new reloading stuff to begin to experiment with. I've got another barrel actually. So I went from never purchasing a barrel and never rebarreling anything to now I've got 2. Or I don't physically have the second one yet, but I actually ordered one Wednesday. Ordered a barrel Wednesday, and it's supposed to be here next Wednesday. So we'll see. Ordered that. I'll of course do a whole big song and dance video series, hopefully, on that thing once it comes in. That should be a fun rebarreling project, I hope. And I'm hoping that it'll be something that's somewhat, let's see, what's the word I'm looking for? Hopefully it'll be something that is not, maybe it's easy. Hopefully it's just easy, right? We'll see. So you guys stay tuned for that. Got a lot more stuff coming. It's going to be awesome. Getting back into 6.5 Creedmoor. I haven't really loaded for that cartridge in quite a while now. So getting back into that, that's going to be fun. And I probably will test more Superformance once I get back into that cartridge. So that's it. That's where we're going to leave it, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Again, had an amazing weekend. It was just really neat being able to meet Derek and talk to him. All things barrels and reloading in general, and just life in general was a lot of fun. Going to the wedding was awesome. Coming back down to Alabama, making it to the tournament on time, that was great. You know, the whole nine. So it was just, this weekend's been a blessing. So very thankful for that. But hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget, if you're ever in Huntsville, Alabama, Mr. Big Guns, that is the #1 recommendation that I make. You guys hear me say it all the time. Them, along with Midway Pistol and Ammo, that is another gun-related store out in Gurley, Alabama. So that's another one that you got to add to your list of places that you need to stop in and check out. Those 2 places locally in this area, those are 2 of the best places to shop. If you want to make a little bit more of a drive, or if you're coming north and south through Alabama and you're on 65, you got to go to exit 305, Vans Sporting Goods, VANS. Go check those guys out. They have a really, really awesome reloading selection. So, all right. That's it, guys. We'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a good one.